Hi there, I'm Katelyn Holappa, and I'm running to represent Ward 6 in Salem City Council. So if you live in North Salem and you vote at Bates Elementary School, you can vote for me. September 16th is our preliminary election, and November 4th, hopefully, you can vote for me again in our general election. Before I get started too much here today, I want to thank Salem Access TV for giving me and all of the candidates the chance to come in and try to engage voters and inform voters about who we are. So thank you for considering my candidacy. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in the North Shore. I grew up in Hamilton. I attended Hamilton Wenham Regional High School. And I got involved in local advocacy fairly young, advocating for school funding, for more school programs. I joined the Boy Scouts, the scouting program, and I earned my Eagle rank in 2012. And through that program, I learned a lot about civic engagement, community action, community building, and I take those values through with me here today. After high school, I was fortunate that I was able to attend college. I attended Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania, and I earned 2 degrees in my 4 years there. I have a Bachelor's of Mechanical Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts in Art History. And I really try to take those two perspectives into different conversations that I have, into solutioning and solving problems, because I think it's really important that we understand our history, we know our history, and we learn lessons from our past so we can make better informed decisions in the future. I want to speak a little bit about some of the areas of focus that I have and that I think the city should be focusing on. Broadly, I break them down into affordability and safety. Inside of affordability, we're all familiar with the housing crisis that we're currently living through. I try to stay involved and influence the solutions that we're working towards now at the city council meetings as a member of the public. And I also attend various other meetings of organizations throughout the city, like the Salem Commoner. Food security is another issue that I'm very concerned with at the moment, especially. Folks can find me most Saturday mornings at Mack Park Farm. We have markets every other Saturday, by the way, in the summer, if you're still catching this before they end. So you might see me there. And then broadly inside of affordability and safety, I'm a big transportation advocate. So folks that know me well and folks that have seen me biking around the city know that I bike everywhere. Mostly my sign is on the side of my bike, my campaign sign. I attend the Transportation Commission meetings, I attend the bike committee meetings, and I'm actually working on a bike parking ordinance with a few members of our community right now. Other areas of safety that are important to me are dealing with climate change. There's absolutely a safety issue. Folks that lived in North Salem around 2018 are intimately aware of what damage and what safety issues flooding can cause. And finally, in safety, it's really important to me that we're protecting our most vulnerable residents here in Salem. That means immigrants. That means unhoused people. That means anyone that's in the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. So I volunteer every Friday at NAGLI to help with youth. And I also wrote the final draft of the resolution to protect the transgender and non-binary community, which was passed by our city councilor unanimously earlier this year. So that's a lot about why I'm running. Those are the things that I think are important. That's who I am. I want to speak a little bit about how we should address these issues. I think it's important that representatives in our government not just be able to identify issues, but have an understanding of what it takes to solve them, not necessarily from a policy perspective, but from a community engagement perspective. I think it's really important. Maybe the most important thing is that we are involving our residents in the process of us building the city in the future. That means development issues or development projects. That means street redesigns. I think that the residents in our neighborhoods should have a lot of agency when it comes to how those neighborhoods are being built for the future. I also want to challenge the city to really treat urgent issues with the urgency that we all deserve them to be dealt with. We are living in a housing crisis, a climate crisis. Those words mean something, and we need to be addressing them sooner rather than later and with intention. Too often I see folks in the city have a paralysis by analysis situation where we just need to do study after study, look at data after data point, and sometimes by the time that we've finished the study, so much time has passed that it's not even relevant anymore. And the entire time, the people that could have been benefited from some sort of solution are still waiting. So across the board, I think there really are times where the city isn't doing the best that we can. And I recognize that that's a criticism, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm running for city council. I want to help be part of the solutions for these. I want to try to make sure the city's treating them with the urgency that the residents are being involved, and that ultimately we are all living in a Salem that's better for all of us. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for considering my candidacy. And please, whoever you're voting for, remember to vote on September 16th in the preliminary election and again on November 4th for the general. Thank you so much. I'll see you out there.
Hello, my name is Marlene Warner, and I'm running for Ward 6 Councilor. After the very successful tenure of our current Ward Councilor, who's now choosing to run for school committee, I have chosen to try to fulfill her legacy and run for this important role as someone who's a strong organizer and who knows how to get things done. My husband John and I, and our 2 cats, moved to Salem in 2002. We first rented an apartment on Essex Street and truly fell in love with the city of Salem. We love the city due to its historical, cultural, and social opportunities across the 8 square miles. As a downtown renter, I immediately joined the historic Derby Street Neighborhood Association and learned some of the challenges of living and parking amongst the tourist and coal plant concerns. When I saw areas related to those and others that needed attention, I rolled up my sleeves and immediately got involved. After 2 years, we made the important decision to start roots here, and we bought a condo on Northeast Street. We immediately adopted a dog to join our family, and then, not long after, had our first son, Owen. Not long after that, 2 years, we had our son, Cormac. As a condo owner and now a parent, we grappled with safety and parking issues and water issues and soil remediation in the small park across the street. These experiences were sometimes telling, definitely difficult, and it helped us to lean in further on how to bring safety and surveillance forward in the community of Salem. In 2012, after searching the North Shore for a single-family home, we made the strategic decision to pay attention to our hearts and decided to recommit to the city we now considered home, and we attempted to buy a home with a yard for our growing family. We eventually found a house in North Salem on Bradford Street, a place we love. We eventually engaged in a bidding war with other buyers on that home, and we wrote a letter to the seller's family. We talked about all the ways that we are committed to Salem, with our 2 boys at the public K-8 Salt and Salt School, and my volunteering with the PTO, my involvement with Cub Scouts of PAC 83, with the Salem YMCA board, and our engagement with the First Church in Salem. It worked, and we moved in right before the holidays. Home ownership has allowed me to feel even more connected to this community. It helped me to understand that the need to care not only for my family, but also for all the people around this city, and how to navigate its witch versus seaport identity, tax rates, and all the development-related issues, as well as how to manage a growing population of people that are unhoused and unfortunately struggling with mental health and addiction-related issues. It has also allowed me to learn the need to ease the use of vehicles while making it simpler to get into downtown and across this busy and vibrant city. After welcoming our dear daughter, Bridget, in 2014, and with the boys then getting older, we chose to expand our reach and get involved with a few other programs, including the Salem OTA Cultural Exchange Program, where we got to share not only our city's treasures amongst our citizens, but also the people of Ota City, Japan, our sister city. We also got involved in a number of things related to children in the schools, including Salem's Clothing Connection and a number of ways that we serve food through LifeBridge in the Salem Pantry. These have all been wonderful experiences and ways that we can give back. In addition to being a mom and a homeowner, I proudly have been the CEO of a statewide nonprofit public health agency. This role allows me to address issues with data and evidence and apply in ways that are person-centered and meets people where they're at. On the daily, I am meeting with policymakers, industry leaders, and people directly impacted by problems that need to be solved. I listen using my 2 ears, 1 mouth, and I'm able to make informed suggestions, taking action on issues that can be pulled apart and really dealt with bullet by bullet. So as I've had the great fortune, it's been really an amazing experience to hear the stories of people in Ward 6. As I've been knocking on doors and visiting all of you, I've heard some incredible stories and struggles of people in North Salem are facing. And I would consider it my pleasure to work on your behalf to help solve those issues. I've heard people talking about safety concerns as it relates to three difficult and different intersections across Ward 6 in Salem, where there's better design and signage needed to keep up with information and in terms of who needs to go where, when. People have also asked about expanding the use of speed bumps to slow people down on side streets, and also how we can reroute 18-wheelers outside of our neighborhoods. I've heard about soil contamination from abandoned buildings and cemeteries, and the need for cleanups to happen in yards and parks. Some people want to increase accessibility to more reliable and energy-efficient transportation, smoother and easier to navigate sidewalks, and better explanation on how to navigate and utilize the North Street bike lanes. And honestly, some people just want to know how they can be better neighbors. They want to know, how do we come together around snow removal, community conversations in languages other than English, or how to bring to light the often forgotten history in North Salem. Ward 6 has so much green space. We're so lucky. The green space in our parks and cemeteries and walkways. I believe we can do more to utilize those areas to generate community space, conversations, and solutions to food insecurity, energy sustainability, and housing deficiencies. I am the one candidate for Ward 6 that can boast a diverse and consistent background of involvement in Salem for nearly 25 years. I've been committed to Salem and its people from day one, and I will remain so in the future. I humbly and respectfully ask for your vote on Tuesday, September 16th for the primary election, and if successful and I move on Tuesday, November 4th during the general election. Together, we can make the difference that Ward 6 needs to get the effective and diligent leader it deserves. And that would be me, Marlene Warner. Thank you for your time.